Welcome back to another episode of The Road to 2200. Looks like I'm 1963, my opponent's 1944. And here we are, playing the Queen's Gambit. My opponent taking their time to make their first move. Will they not show? It's possible. Huzzah, they are here. Okay. We'll move our knight out. Then probably go along with similar plans to what I usually do. Right, like all these are moves that look reasonable to me. And we'll see what order they happen in. Okay, so we're seeing probably some sort of King's Indian is what I'm expecting. Could be a Grunfeld. We'll just move along with our plans. Knight's going to go here after they feed Keto. And then we'll see what they do. Probably our bishop will go up here to G5. This kind of slows them down a little bit. Okay. They're really taking their time, which is interesting. I don't know if they're having some connection issues. They're really thinking carefully about each of these first couple moves. Okay. Now I feel like we're at the moment of truth. Are they playing D6? Are they playing D5? Are they doing something totally different? Alright, so it looks like they're going to play King's Indian. We'll go here, here, castle. Oops, sorry. Here. So, again. Should be able to get some sort of time advantage here because my opponent is, I don't know, having some struggles with their time. My guess is they're going to play E5. I'll play Bishop E2. And then there's just lots of possibilities. Okay, we could move the knight first. I don't think that changes anything for me. I'm just going to develop, get castled, and then we can play a game of chess. There's definitely a weird amount of consistent time taking on every single move. I don't quite understand. Okay. E5, very normal move here. I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do, which sounds shocking to me to even say out loud. The options seem to be, I mean, there's three, I would assume. So take, they recapture, and then that seems pretty decent for them. They can also recapture this way. If I don't take and they capture, I'm pretty happy with this setup, but I'm not sure if I castle if I want them to just push through. If they do that, then I have to do something like come back here. They can't easily back it up though, so I think I can castle and take a move until like they play the rook in. I think once they play the rook over, then I kind of have to take. This is something that I probably need to sit down with and really get a very firm handle on, so I'm not sort of refiguring it out every game. You know, when they play E5 and their pieces are in what construction, what am I supposed to do? I think that would probably be useful. It would certainly be useful for blitz. For longer time controls, it's probably fine, but still, it would be good to have that confidence. Once again, like every move, taking their time. See if we can see. Okay, I can't see a time breakdown right now. But I'm just curious, is it like a consistent 20 seconds every move? What is going on? Okay. So, some questions here. If I go back, I have to expect that there. And then what happens if they push? I go back. That seems fine. Ah. Have I somehow been missing that this knight is pinned? I don't think so. Okay, I'll go back. And now, what do we have here? How are they going to push here? This bishop looks very bad now. Like, look at this. And I think that's one reason why taking seems pretty good. If they take back with the pawn, I'm pretty happy that suddenly my bishop is getting better. If they take back with the knight, it's not too bad. Okay. So that's a pretty normal move. They're going to get the two bishops now. How do I sort of make that not that bad for me? What do I take on e5? If they take with the knight, I take with the knight. They're left with bishop in the middle, which I can then take, actually. All right, I think I just take here. This feels like a very normal move. I won't be surprised if they take first before they do anything else. Okay, they do not. So I'm hitting this twice, but it's backed up twice. Because it would be wonderful to be able to just take here. That would not work. It'd be like takes, 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 takes. And I'm just down a piece at that point. You have an interesting idea of going here first. And then if they go here, I could take here. We are even. But they go here, I go here, and then my piece is hanging at the end. So it'd be like takes, takes, takes. Let's say they, oh yeah, and this is with check too. So I can't even ignore it. So check. Takes. Takes. What do I lose? I lose all three of these pieces and I only pick up the two. So that's not going to work. Actually, looking at this more, I think I like the idea of the knight coming here. And then if takes, I guess I can't take here. No, maybe I can. As if pushes, this pawn is hanging, but then we can block it here. But then they can play there. And it looks like that pawn does indeed fall at the end. If I go here, they take. I go here. Can they go like this? Yeah, so maybe this... Well, the one thing it does do is it really weakens that king. So I think I'm going to go for this. I'm not sure this is right. It does feel like this kind of stuff is going to be annoying. But, man, that king just becomes so weak. It's hard to imagine a world where that's fine. Oh, it's totally fine because now my bishop is going to be trapped. Wow, I totally missed that. Jeez, what a terrible play by me. Yeah, there's no way around this, right? This is just game over. I move the knight to, I don't know, let's say I move the knight back. They push the pawn up. I was just so sure they were taking. I kind of overlooked this. Okay, but I do have this possibility. If I move this knight, this is hanging. So like if I go here, kind of has to take here first. Then I take, and I'm losing a piece. I do have this check also in here. Like there's a lot of interesting complexities now. Yeah, maybe I can just go here now. Check, king moves, take here. Takes, 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 takes. Then that falls at the end. I think that's probably the best move I have, though. Unless I want to do something like takes here. Here. Then check. Okay. I think I'm going to do this check first. Let's just kind of see what he does. But I think I've lost. I think that was a really big error on my part. I was just so sure that he was taking there that I like blocked out the fact that there are other moves in this position that could even happen. Which is a bit It's a stunning oversight. Okay. If they had gone here, I would have been okay. I could have taken there. And then this... No. Nope, that still wouldn't have worked. Alright. This is interesting. Here, I'm unveiling this attack. And I'm also threatening this fork. So how do they respond? I go here. They take there. I go fork. Takes. Here. 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 What just happened? Alright, let's see. What was I even thinking of? Now I don't even know what I was talking about. Okay, what I was talking about is this knight there. So here takes, checks, they're gonna take. I take back, lets them take here. Okay, I think this is a reasonable plan. I don't think it works, but I do think it's a reasonable plan. So I also have, like, after this, I could go here. And then they take this way. And then... I don't know. Then I have some pieces near the king. And maybe I can make something happen. Once they take here. I go here. They take here. I don't know. Looks like I'm busted no matter what. It's a very nice move by my opponent. A big oversight by me. Chess. Tactics. Tactics and chess, they go together. And when you fail to put them together, you lose games. Also, why didn't I take potentially this way? Okay, no, wait. They could take this way first. And then queens get traded. So I think this was probably the right way. If I was even going to do that. I don't know. I'll be very interested to see if the computer is just like, what? You had a way out here. You really blew it. That'll be interesting to see. Ooh, another potential idea is after knight takes g2, we could take f takes g2. And then after this would be under fire. We go check. They go here. Is that the way to do it? I think it is. I think this is the way to do it, just to get another piece involved. Unless we want to... Well, what about here, here? Then... Wow. I don't know. Oh, I do have this fork also. I didn't quite realize that. And that seems quite good. I can do this first and then take this piece. And then maybe I'm even winning. No. Maybe, yeah, because I can take this way. Am I actually winning coming out of this? This will be wild if I'm winning at the end of this. Because if I just get to take here, I'm winning. And I'm also threatening a million things. Ah, but they could take that way. Son of a... Because this is not immediate enough because it's with check. So I have to go here. This is no longer hanging. So I'm not going to be winning anymore. There is no winning. Now, okay, they can't take here. So you have to move the queen. And then what? This has been a wild game. Okay, so do I take the exchange and just say, yes, I'm down material? Or not? This knight is also hanging. So if I take the exchange, that doesn't... Oh, no. Taking the exchange, they have to take because otherwise I have this. So here, I don't know, however they want to take, they take. And then let's say I go here, they can just trade off. I could go here, but then they can take here. So I think I don't have a lot of choice. I think I have to take here because I have this threat. That's why that works. So if they take here, they lose the game. If they take that way, now I have to figure out what I want to do. I'm down an exchange and a pawn. I don't know what I'm down. We'll have to count material in a moment when we have a chance. I'm very tempted to go here, let him take, and then at least have this. But then they can move the knight, and they're pretty much have that blocked off. The king is looking just safe enough where I don't think I can get in there. Yeah, I guess I'm going here. They're pretty forced to take. It'd be better if I could take this way and get the king out of the way. That's going to take a lot of moves, though. Or if I go here, moves the knight, probably there. And then I could push this second pawn here to probably break open that file. So I guess this is what I'm left with. Unfortunately, the knight will attack my queen. All right, where are we at material-wise? So I've traded an exchange for all of the pieces. I'm down 2 pieces, but I have a pawn for now. Okay, so if I go here, I'm looking to go here. But if I go here and they go there, then what? I think I'm fairly happy with that development. Because then this pawn becomes incredibly weak. We probably just double up on it. I don't even need to try to sack anything. Oh yeah, also this, they can't take because of that. So if I go here and they push, I would take. Not sure. And my guess is this bishop is going here. That feels like a pretty solid move. It attacks the pawn. Yeah, just feels like a reasonable move. I'm a bit tempted to kick the knight away. Then this rook is coming. Everything's coming now. Now I feel like I've definitely lost. Whereas before it was like, I got stuff brewing, and now it's like, yeah, all their pieces are coming in now. So now you're just lost. So I'm going to protect this pawn. I don't know if that's a good idea, especially since this loses the game to this. So the one moment where I was like, I'll be a little defensive, just loses the game on the spot. So not that it wasn't already dead, but yeah, that was very frustrating that my first instinct was to ignore that pawn and not worry, and then I was like, I should really protect it, and then it just gives up another exchange. So game is now over. I think it was a good... Actually, I don't know what the lesson is, but certainly the takeaway is you can't become single-minded in your opponent's threat, right? So, like, I was totally convinced they were taking my bishop, and then when they were like... I didn't respect that they could have just, walled it in, and it was like, oh, right, now I've lost. So now I'm just down, 2 pieces for a pawn? I've lost my exchange. And this game should be well over. Well and truly over. The one hope I have is this king is still sort of weak. It's unclear how I can get to him, but I'm going to try to go here, 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 and try to make something crack that way. I also have this check at any moment, which certainly does nothing at the moment. But this is all I can come up with, is this like last-ditch strategy. Also, I have to be aware that there is mate threats at the back rank. But something like even this might be fine. Probably not. Probably just make the king safe somehow would be good. Like this knight seems kind of out of play. The bishop's not doing much. Like their pieces aren't doing much. They're clearly crushing me. But I feel like I have like this little tiny sliver of an opening where maybe I can make something happen before they really coordinate everything well. Once all their pieces are fully coordinated, then the game is over. And in fact, once I rook lift here, yeah, that's that's the danger, right? Because now here and here, if this rook lifts, they're forcing the queen trade. So now I can't do the rook lift like I wanted. What I can do though is go here, and then they're not threatening any sort of mate. If they go here, they lose the piece. I'm threatening this check, which is going to get quite annoying for them actually. But we'll see what we can make happen. We'll see if they go here. That'll be kind of an interesting decision. Oh no, that would not work at all. We're actually covering it twice. So that would be game over. Okay, so that feels like a wise way to do that. I don't have this square because the bishop's covering it. I don't have that check. Bishop's covering that. What I could do is, that would be mate, but in a different world. Takes, check, but then they're just going there anyway. So what I need to do is move upon, so the king can move. The question is, do I go up 2 or 1? 1 seems better, so that the rook can still lift to here, and we can make some sort of threats. And then the king will have this little hole to nestle in. And sadly, when I rook lift, oh, well, that's also not great. But now they can't do that. Okay, so we're going here. Okay. And then I'm going to go here. And then all I have to do is go like here or here with it. But in fact, they can go here with their queen now, and my hopes and dreams are pretty much shattered. But we'll see what they do. Okay, they're going there. Because why? Well, they're threatening mate now. So that's pretty good. I still can't even check this king other than sacking a full queen and getting nothing. So that is very annoying. It looks like that's just going to be it. I see no way out of this in any way. So what I'm going to do is go here and say, if you find the checkmate, which is pretty easy, then I'm done. Okay, so what in the heck happened? That was a wild, wild game. It starts off very normal and boring. We're playing just like a regular version of this. I was trying to figure out, when do I take? The computer says, or the opening database says this is all correct. And that this is the time to take. And that now I can actually take on e5. I did not know that I could take on e5. This feels like I lose a piece. Takes. I am down a piece. And then this guy's hanging. Right, of course. Of course he's hanging. So what? I think I was looking at it this way, and maybe this way doesn't work. Yeah, this way doesn't work. Because this way they take there first. But if I go this way, then they can't take here first. So that was my miscalculation there. I only went the other way. I kind of assumed that if one didn't work, the other one didn't work. And here the computer says I'm doing great. I'm actually up 1, and I am on my way. And we can see white is doing very well, right? Black's king is quite airy. All these light squares are available for us to sort of start digging into. And we are in good shape. Okay, so I didn't do that. I didn't entirely see that. I went here, and this is a big problem because of f5. Now, the engine says I have some ways out. Not perfect ways out, but some ways out. And that is not one. That loses. So the engine suggests, back here, knight f to d2. That is the engine move. Or one of a couple, actually. So how does that work? I thought, first of all, okay. The reason is because this is hanging. Yes. So it's a very easy solution to the problem. If takes, okay, I think what I was looking at though is if takes here, then they're threatening this. So I felt like Oh, but I can take back this way. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know how I think it's because there's so much touching here that I just got kind of overwhelmed by all the different variations. And the real simple part of this is just this and this. That's really the two big pieces. And I guess this. So yeah, so I messed that up by going like this. Now I'm dead lost. I went here to complicate things. And if this hadn't worked, I'm in much better shape. Like if they had to go move the queen, I'm winning, right? I thought I was winning. Because I'm like, okay, I just take the piece and I'm winning. In fact, I'm not winning there because this piece is... right. I was going to take this way. And now I'm winning. But my opponent said, there's another piece hanging, buddy. And now things are bad. And this is all fine because it really doesn't matter. I'm just dead. But I don't know. I felt like I made things sort of interesting here. Oh, right. Then I made this blunder. I mean, it's hardly a blunder. The engine doesn't even say the position is any worse at all. It's more of a frustration of not seeing it. And then, you know, my opponent did a good job of coming in this way and creating new threats. So, I didn't have any way out, of course. I was dead. So, very quick, sudden turnaround. And I think, really, to me, it stems from this. Of not seeing that this tactic works. That works. And also getting too tunnel vision on this move is next. The computer even likes this move a lot here, which is definitely something I was considering. But yeah, but not seeing the tactic of this whatever direction here, and that this is hanging, that's kind of a pretty big mistake to not see a fairly basic tactic like that, and then go here, which was a terrible move, and just walk into this, and then flip out and not be able to calculate this. Which I still looking at now, I'm like, wow, this is kind of a hard calculation for me. I'm realizing that when there's this much happening, it's challenging, but it's really not as challenging, right? Because it's pretty simple. Now it's just a trade of pieces, or this way. So either way, it's not so bad. I, of course, made it 1,000 times worse with this move. Well, yet another game, another unfortunate loss. I do feel like I'm learning some things. I think that is a tactic that will come up a lot in my games. This idea. And now I hope I have it, and I'll remember it's because I need to take this way first so that this target is gone, and then we're fine. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that one, and I will see you next time on the road